Hello and welcome to more nerdy rodent geekery. We've now got native support for SAM3 segmentation and a couple of frame interpolation models as well, so I figured why not integrate these into last week's LTX workflow and take a look at a whole bunch of new stuff we can do with them. That's not all though, as you can see in the note here, it's a jam-packed video today, so let's dive in. Just in case you're not familiar with the channel, I like to use the rodent method for my workflows. This means putting things neatly into colourful little groups, which I think makes workflows both easier to follow and to update in a nice, modular, low spaghetti way. If you're using this tutorial to make or update your own workflows, don't forget you can pause to take screenshots or rewatch specific sections at any time. Also, if you find these videos helpful, prefer tutorials from actual humans, or perhaps you just like all this workflow stuff done for you already, then you can support the channel via the Patreon link in the video description. It's your support which lets me make even more workflows for you and to share these free video tutorials with everyone. The freedom to choose is, of course, yours, and a huge thank you to all supporters because you make this possible. First up is a node you might have already seen if you saw my ACE step video. The node here is APG. Just slot it in anywhere in your model chain, like I have here in the experimental model alterations group, and to start with, I've got it enabled. It works best if you're not using CFG1, so not the distilled models, but it does work with those as well. It's simply that the changes won't be as obvious. To start with, I'm doing a quick low resolution 1280 by 704 clip, and this is the prompt I'm using to get a cinematic film clip of a space alien wearing a red jacket and blue flares who's standing in some custard.
Hello, I'm using the dev model and standing in custard.
Not bad, it seems to have followed the prompt fairly well. A decent looking alien, and it certainly looks like he's wearing the desired outfit and standing in some custard. Now, let's see what happens if I turn APG off and regenerate the video.
Hello, I'm using the dev model and standing in custard.
Oh dear, not particularly cinematic, was it? That's definitely a cartoon style, so not what I asked for at all. And as for those flares, well, I think I've certainly seen better. If you prefer the version from APG, then why not drop that node into your workflow and give it a go for yourself? Next, I'm taking a look at this body positivity LoRA from the Bergstall. This one comes with an Apache 2.0 license, meaning you can use it freely. Here it is, loaded up in the LoRA loader, and for this one I'm going to need to use an input video. Based on feedback from a supporter, I've increased the amount of notage here in the video control panel, plus I've gone for an easy 1, 2, 3 set of switches. Step 1 only has a single option, load the video, so that's about as easy as it can get. Step 2 is where you pick the type of control net you want to use, and in this case I just want to use the plain video itself. And step 3 is where you select the video pre-processing you want to apply, which in this case is just a simple resize. I'm using just a single video loader group now, which is used for all of the options. This particular video hasn't got any sound, but that's fine because we can add audio for ourselves just via the prompting. As you can see, there's a guy there on a chair, all very straightforward. Even more straightforward is the prompt, which is simply the LoRA trigger plus what I want him to say. Let's take a look at what this makes.
And that's when I realized I hated decorating.
Very nice indeed. I feel more body positive already, don't you? We can, of course, do even more stuff. So this time around, I've turned the stage 2 processing for the plain video input off instead, because this allows prompting to change the video even more. If you like, you can click on the arrow to see which group any switch changes. So if I do that now, it will take us straight to the group it just turned off. And there it is, the plain video stage 2 processing. This is of course part of the plain video group overall. How much does this let us change the video? We can of course take a look-see now.
And that's when I realized I hated decorating.
As you can see, this time around the person looks different, but we do get some lovely failed decorating on the wall behind him as well, which I think really makes this particular clip shine. You don't have to use the encoded video in the latent for the plain video, as the conditioning carries it as well. This allows for more changes, plus you can also modify the aspect ratio if you like, though for now we're just going to keep it simple and flip this one switch. So we've got use empty latent set to true.
And that's when I realized I hated decorating.
Another bit of a change there, as you can see, with the decorating perhaps looking even worse than last time. As mentioned, if using that empty latent option, you can also change the aspect ratio, which is what I've done here, where instead the video will be 1344 by 832. And, as if that isn't enough, you could also use a different scheduler for stage 2, along with your own choice of denoise. Change things a lot or change things a little, it's up to you. But for this example, I've gone with linear quadratic and a denoise of 0.42, which is a fair amount of change. Also, just for giggles, I've updated the prompt a little bit, so now the decorating disaster should be even more obvious.
And that's when I realized I hated decorating.
As you can see, the decorating disaster is now even more obvious and the window is broken as well. It could be made to follow your prompt even more and change whatever you like from the original video, just use that slightly higher denoise. If you're looking for even more control over what changes, then an Inpainting LoRA could be what you're looking for. Yes, I know this one says Outpainting and you can certainly use it for that as well, but I'm not gonna. This LoRA is slightly different in that it needs the special IC LoRA guide node to work, though you can load it like a typical LoRA to start with, just as I've done here. Down in the video control panel, however, for the control net choice, this time I've gone with the IC LoRA guide over the plain video option. Again, we can click on that little arrow to see what this particular group does. As mentioned, the main change here is the Video IC LoRA guide node. This one comes from the LTX Video Custom Node pack, as using the typical add guide node doesn't work very well with this particular LoRA. Now, because we're doing Inpainting, it's also time to flip that switch in the video group to enable video masking. Here we're using the SAM3 model for video segmentation and the native ComfyUI node for SAM3 detect. I've also added a color picking node because, as we'll see in the next example, other LoRAs use different colors. This one uses black as the mask color, which is ideal for light colored videos such as this one. SAM3 prompting only allows up to 32 tokens, so you can't have a massive prompt in there, but you can use numbers to set an element amount, as explained in the README note there in red. I've opted to change his face and the window, which we can see now are all masked in black in that mask preview video. Time to take a look at the new generation then.
And that's when I realized I hated decorating.
There you go, with the face and the window masked. Those are the only elements in the scene which have changed. As they note in the model card, if you have a dark video, you can do some brightness adjustment and stuff so that everything isn't black. Or you could use a LoRA which expects white masks instead of black ones, such as these ones here. There are a few options to try, but I'm just going to be using the first one there, the 2500 step version. Again, you can load the LoRA using the usual LoRA loader, but this time around you don't need to use the IC LoRA guide and you can just use the typical guide node, so the plain video option is fine. As mentioned, the expected mask color for this LoRA is white, which works great with dark videos. For the mask this time, I've selected the white color and expanded it a lot. You can see there the value of 16, plus I've also increased the blockiness of it a little as well, going up to 10. If the mask matches the original shape too much, then LTX will go, oh yes, that's a dog shape, and then just fill it in with a dog or whatever. This particular video does have some audio, so she's speaking in a particular way already, thus I've selected the mouth area to help a little bit with changing what it is that she's saying. For the prompt, I've got her stroking a lovely rodent, and she should say that is something she likes, and honestly, I think it's something everybody probably likes deep down in their hearts.
Oh yes. I like stroking rodents. A lot.
Nice in paint there, and she certainly has a very furry rodent instead of a dog. Lovely. Of course, if you want to use the original audio from your video clip, then you can do that as well, like we have in this clip here.
I got a terrible scolding on your account. I'm afraid you ruined my favorite device for getting out of the house when I can't sleep.
In this case, I'm simply masking out his clothing, and in the prompt, I'm asking for that to be changed into an orange jogging top with a rodent face logo on it. To keep the original audio in the output section, I've simply turned off the option to use the generated audio, so instead it will come straight from the input video.
I got a terrible scolding on your account. I'm afraid you ruined my favorite device for getting out of the house when I can't sleep.
Excellent stuff. So many choices to be made and so much fun to be had. Talking of fun, how would you like to add googly eyes to any video clip? Well, thanks to this LoRA, it's now super easy to do. Just load the LoRA as normal, send in your video clip. This is the one I've chosen this time around.
Indeed. Very interesting. Although not within my scope as an oceanographer.
Use the trigger word in your prompt. As you can see here, I've just put googly eyes in.
Indeed. Very interesting. Although not within my scope as an oceanographer.
And the googly eyes become yours to control. One last thing then, and that's the video interpolation. So I'm just doing a normal text to video here. I've got a woman with brown eyes who is stroking a nice furry rodent. And as you can see on the VHS video combine information here, that's 1280 by 704 at 24 frames a second.
I like stroking rodents.
You can either do the frame interpolation on that or on the extended video. I've chosen to do it on the extended video as well, so this group is enabled. This time I've got the rodent saying this isn't even my real fur.
I like stroking rodents.
This isn't even my real fur.
And then to do the frame interpolation, all you need is that load frame interpolation model and the model of your choice. Here I'm using film. Then we've got the native ComfyUI frame interpolate node and an FPS multiplier, which in this case is 2. So we've got the 24 FPS video to start with, and now that gives us the 48 FPS video. Once again, you can right-click in the VHS video combine node to get the options. You can see there 1280 by 704 at 48 FPS. So let's see the smoothness of this new video.
I like stroking rodents.
This isn't even my real fur.
Anyway, if you like getting all nerdy with workflow details and stuff, then don't forget to like and subscribe for even more Nerdy Rodent geekery.
Ooh, nerdy rodent. He really makes my day. Showing us AI in a really British way.